The last year has been tumultuous for Eric Adams. The migrant crisis hit him hard, and then he got indicted on a bunch of charges.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams.
It looked like our boy wasn't going to make it. Looked like he was about to be right out of the mayoral office and going straight to the federal pen with P. Diddy in them. And it was about to be all bad until Donald Trump becomes president of the United States. Eric Adams welcomes the border czar and Donald Trump into New York City. Now, we know that Donald Trump is a New Yorker, and New York City is his city. And Eric Adams being the mayor of the biggest city in America means a lot for the party. But there's an issue. Donald Trump had some federal charges on him. They kind of went away or kind of stalled out. But Eric Adams also had those charges. Well, what happened to those charges?
It's been almost 5 months since Eric Adams became the first sitting mayor in modern New York City history to be federally indicted. On Thursday, that case was put on hold indefinitely, with an asterisk, by President Donald Trump's Justice Department. Quote, "You are directed, as authorized by the Attorney General, to dismiss the pending charges in United States v. Adams as soon as is practicable."
But wait, there's more. Remember the prosecuting attorneys that had those charges? Damn, man, Eric Adams really got off like a straight gangster. Oh, wait, he didn't get off. He didn't get off. Because it's something that he got to do. You see, ain't nothing free but death and oxygen. And sometimes a Watchtower magazine from Jehovah's Witnesses. But nothing else is really free like that, man. You gotta give to take and take to give, and you know what I mean? Eric Adams, since Donald Trump then bailed his ass out, he has some decision making to do if he's gonna change his political party, and this is how it's gonna rock.
Stephen Bianca, in an unprecedented move, at least 7 federal prosecutors have now resigned rather than dropping the criminal charges against Mayor Eric Adams. Now, we are hearing that these charges could be dropped as soon as today, but the most recent prosecutor to resign was a lead prosecutor in Adams' case. He had been investigating this case since the summer of 2021, before Adams took office, and in his scathing resignation letter, Hagen Scotton wrote in part, quote, "I expect you will eventually find someone who is enough of a fool or enough of a coward to file your motion, but it was never going to be me." Scotton's departure from the Southern District comes after the acting U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon resigned after refusing to drop the charges against Adams.
Now, Eric Adams used to be a Republican, and Eric Adams is not going to be very successful as a Democrat. I'm gonna tell you exactly why he's not gonna be very successful as a Democrat. Number one, Eric Adams was very critical of the Biden administration and the federal government for overflooding New York City. This is different than our guy, Brandon Johnson, who just does whatever he can to be a simp. He stood up to the wrong people. Now, these federal charges that he had was brought by the federal government, mostly Democratic. And when Kamala Harris was running for president, want to know who was not there? Eric Adams. He did not help her campaign. In other words, that was like a big fuck you to the Democratic Party. Like, I'm not even going to help you campaign in New York City because y'all put these charges on me. So he can't go back. He can't go back to the party. He has to run as a Republican candidate in the primary. And if he knows what's good for him, he's going to have to do that. Now, he might gotta win, but it comes at a cost. And this shows me one thing. There's only one way to win in America, and that is owning your own communities. Certain communities I don't want to name right now don't have to depend on political votes to get what they need, because they own the communities and any politician within those communities. Let's look at Israel for an example. Former President Joe Biden and Donald Trump are diametrically opposed to one another. But I can tell you one thing, their stance on Israel is the same. Both support Israel. That's right. No matter how you slice it, both of them are pro-Israel and against Palestine, from what I can see. And what that shows me is whenever you're in control of your stuff, it don't really matter who is in politics. And in the black community, we talk politics so much and we don't talk ownership. And this is why Eric Adams is in the position that he's going to be in, which he's compromised. He's going to be used as a tool for Donald Trump and the Republicans. Like I said, he's going to be used either way. But when you own the communities and you put money into people's pockets, it's you who own them. And this is something that I want a lot of black people to get and understand. All the other communities that are doing better are growing in America. Understand this. They're paying for what they want with an agenda. Now, I know how some people are going to look at it, especially the African-American community, the original African-American community, or hashtag FBA. People are going to say, well, listen, we were enslaved. We did bad. Why do we got to pay anybody? We should get these things. You're not wrong, but you got to understand, you got to have ownership. Just because you have a reparations claim, or I have a reparations claim, just because we have been oppressed, it doesn't take away from the fact that in the eyes of other people that they don't care. See, this is something that we got to understand. We care about reparations, but other people don't care about reparations because they're not looking at it from the same lens that we are looking at it. So when we want to get things done for ourselves, the only way that we can guarantee things is if we own where we live, or we own the community that we serve people, and then also at the same time that we own the politicians. We own them. We pay for what we want them to do for us. And we have to keep that money going to the politicians to give us something other than giving us a vote. Because right now, Elon Musk has showed us if you own your stuff, you can literally buy yourself into government. And Eric Adams has just benefited from what Elon Musk did. So Eric Adams must be a tool for the person that helped him. And as black people, we got to understand our power in all of this and what we can get and understand how power works. I don't think we want to be puppets. We should be the ones pulling the strings. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi Jackson, and back with an episode of King Ghana. I'm out.